mistakes that we've made in the past, and we're able to sort of stay more on top of it.
Now, you just took a brief rest stop here, but it was only about 15 minutes. How much recuperative good is that to you, 15, 20 minutes?
Well, you'd be surprised at what it does to you, to just get out of the wheelchair and let the body lay horizontal, to relax a bit, and psychologically unwind from the concentration, and then, of course, just to grab a little bit of food, replenish the body's stores of energies, and just get back out again.
We have a lot of children along the route, and I know that I saw the package that went out to the elementary schools, and this is obviously very important to you.
We're really excited about that. The most important part of our project is to create awareness about the potential of disabled persons and to change attitudes and make people realize that every person who has a disability is different. They have their different strengths and abilities and potential, and to educate people a bit about the kinds of disabilities and the barriers that people encounter along the way, and the fact that they can also go on to achieve their goals and their hopes and their dreams in life, and lead as normal life as possible. The main focus on this tour is that we hope to include all the children across the country on that educational process, because it's them that will actually shape our new world. That's where attitudes are being formed, and we think it's important, and we're really pleased to see the response from the schools that we've been having here on the road.
What evidence have you seen that this awareness is increasing?
Well, we see it all the time when we stop at schools, and children come up to us and they talk about different things that unaware children wouldn't have any idea about. They ask questions uninhibitedly. Any exposure gives a person an opportunity to learn and to feel comfortable and to be more relaxed, so that as they go through their normal life, they'll be able to deal with disabled persons in a more educated and positive way. We've also seen how we've challenged people to take action in the community, to build barriers and access to facilities, to take down barriers, to build ramps, to allow greater access to communities, to buildings, to recreational facilities, to parks, to city halls. And we've also seen how people have started their own organizations or gone on to volunteer in existing organizations for disabled persons, or become involved in donating funds to disabled groups, or contributing to our legacy fund.
You've been out here for quite a long time, and here you are, you're back in your home country, and you can see the end. Is it difficult not to be impatient?
Now's the time when I really got to concentrate extra hard, because home seems like in some ways not so far away, because we're back in Canada and we're with friends, but it's still over 6,400 miles to go, and that's at least 7 more months of some of the most brutal terrain and weather conditions that we can imagine. And I can't lose focus of today, finishing off the day, each mile, and tomorrow, and I'll be very fortunate if I can dream about the next rest day that I have. So now's the time to buckle down and not to lose concentration, not to dream too much of home, because I may fall on my face.
Rick, a lot of people are learning an awful lot about spinal cord research and spinal injuries because of your world tour. I'd be very interested to know what you have learned about yourself from this entire experience.
I'm not a machine. Sometimes when you're involved in athletics at an elite level, you feel or you psych yourself into a state of being able to accomplish almost anything. And out here on the road, on this kind of journey, it's nothing like athletics could ever prepare me for. There's been so many setbacks and barriers to overcome. There's been times when I've been ailing and I've been ill and I've had to take breaks, and I've learned that I'm only human, and I have to know my limitations and know myself very well. I've also learned, though, that I have a lot more strength inside of me than I ever knew possible. Not that I'm superhuman or anything like that, but I think that we all have so much more strength than we ever dream possible, and only when you decide to reach down as deep as you possibly can do we ever bring it back up. And on this tour, it's forced me to reach down to inner strengths that I never knew existed. I've gone through barriers of pain and fatigue, frustration, and on the road as well, I've learned how to deal and work with friends and family as a team. My athletics was basically a lot individually oriented. Out here on the road, it's a team effort. It's not just Rick Hansen wheeling around the world. I have 5 crew members with me that are great people. They're dedicated. They've committed their whole lives to helping me. We've learned how to accept each other's strengths and weaknesses, and to work together and to do as good a job as we possibly can. I've also learned that I had a bit of a cynical attitude about mankind when I left, because I was bombarded with so much negative media about bombings, killings, rapes, wars, terrorism, and I was starting to wonder, well, what's going on out there? But when I got out into the world and I went through different countries, I realized that regardless of political beliefs or religious beliefs, your race or ethnic origin, people are basically really, really good, and the world hasn't really deteriorated to the state we may think it is sometimes.
Let me ask you this then. You mentioned the team concept, which I know is very, very important for you to let people understand that. But when you see the front page pictures and they use the term hero and that sort of thing, does that bother you a little bit?
Yeah, it does a bit, because I never consider myself to be a hero, and I always consider myself to be a messenger, a catalyst to bring things across. And I don't ever want anybody to lose focus on the fact that it is a team effort. It often happens, I guess, with a quarterback on a football team. The cameras focus on the quarterback because he always seems to be doing the action, and they often forget about the linebackers and the receivers and the rushers and the coaches and the administrators and the water boys and the people that make it happen. And I don't want anybody to ever forget about who has made this project happen. I'm the point man, and there's a great deal of people. There are tens of thousands of people from 34 countries all over the world that have believed in this dream and have helped me make it come true. And hero.
We are very excited to have you here in our city, and you carry all our best wishes.
Thanks a lot. It's great to be back. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we've just seen the interview with Peter Spurway and Rick Hansen, and Peter, that really must have been quite the experience for you. If we have time, I'd like to ask you a few questions about just meeting Rick Hansen, the Man in Motion. Of course, there have been all sorts of activities planned for the Man in Motion tour, and to welcome Rick back to the country of Canada when he arrived in Newfoundland on August the 25th. A national fun run and roll was organized by the Canadian Wheelchair Sports Association. It was a national event, and the local activities here centered around Point Pleasant Park. And it was, the whole idea was to invite anybody who could walk or roll or run or stroll, whichever way you wanted to do it, to complete a run on behalf of the Rick Hansen Spinal Cord Research Fund to raise money and awareness too, as he has done all around the world, all across this country. 175 people participated in the Halifax run at Point Pleasant Park, and over $1,000 was raised. Now, you saw the check presentation today at the Grand Parade Square, made to Rick. Along with that, a birthday card was presented to Rick. And his birthday was the day after the Fun Run and Roll on August the 26th. He turned 29 years old. So birthday cards signed by all the participants in the Fun Run and Roll was also handed over to Rick today. So everybody has really been involved with this, and it's just inspiring.
Well, you've mentioned the team concept. It has come up over and over again, and it is very important that you understand that this is not one man out there going around the world trying to raise people's awareness. It is a team. And the Kinsmen Clubs, they are a part of that team, and we're going to learn more about that now.
Joining me now is Brian Hastings, and Brian is the president of the Halifax Kinsmen Club. And I know that kinsmen across the country, Brian, are forever involved in community activities, community services. What part is the Kinsmen Club playing across Canada in the Rick Hansen Man in Motion tour of the country?
Okay, Liz, the Kinsman clubs across the nation are very happy to be sort of co-sponsoring Rick's tour in the fact that they'll be collecting donations, running projects to raise funds for the Man in Motion tour, and just helping out promoting his tour as he goes across the country.
That is the across-the-country picture for the Kinsman Club. How about the local Kinsmen? What are they doing here in Metro?
Well, those of the viewers that saw the Halifax Natal Day Parade may have noticed the Halifax Kinsman Club had a Man in Motion float in the parade. We had Ross Sampson, who was one of Nova Scotia's finest wheelchair athletes, on the float. Our future progress on the project would be collecting the donations as Rick goes through the city on Thursday, and we will be the official collectors of donations from the general public on that day.
How can people donate? How can they get in touch with you to make a donation for the tour?
Well, we are strictly collecting anybody that's along the route. We'll have buckets, men dressed up as Kinsmen, in Kinsman attire, I should add, will be the official collectors. Now, anybody wanting to pledge money towards Rick's achievements can do so by going through the Royal Bank of Canada.
Okay, so certainly watch for the Kinsman colors along the parade route.
That's correct.
I know too that, Brian, there was an interesting painting on the Halifax float during the Kinsman float during the Natal Day Parade in Halifax. Can you perhaps elaborate on that painting?
Yes, we had a commercial artist do the painting for us. We've entitled it Rick's Dream. It portrays Rick in a wheelchair, eventually getting up, walking, and running at the end, because his dream is to see wheelchairs as a thing you'd find in a museum. So we've had the painting commissioned. We're going to donate it to Rick, who is in turn going to present to the Nova Scotia Rehabilitation Centre to be hung somewhere in their building.
Brian, this is marvelous work that the Kinsmen are doing across the country and certainly in the metro area. How would somebody go about becoming a member of Kinsmen if they were interested?
Well, if anybody's out there, young men between the ages of 20 and 40, and they'd like to get involved in such projects as the Rick Hansen Man in Motion World Tour or other projects we run, please feel free to contact me, and my phone number at work is 422-8344, and I'll give you further details at that time.
Thanks very much. We'd like to salute the Kinsman clubs across the country, certainly in the Halifax, Dartmouth, and Sackville area, the metro area. The Kinsman clubs have been doing a wonderful job for the Rick Hansen Man in Motion Tour of Nova Scotia. And Brian Hastings is the president of the Halifax Kinsman Club.
You get an idea of the teamwork that's involved in putting a Man in Motion World Tour together. And we should take a moment right now and remind you that to make a donation today, you can go to any branch of the Royal Bank, or you can call this number, 455-5279, 455-5279, to make your pledge and help out financially with the Man in Motion World Tour.
Emotionally, Peter, it must have been quite a feeling for you to be able to talk to Rick Hansen himself. I'm just wondering if you have some quick thoughts to pass on to us.
Well, we went down the Eastern Shore on Monday afternoon, which was a day not unlike today in that it was clear, but it was cold. It was cold. And I think it's important for everyone to realize that Rick Hansen just doesn't go from one big ceremony to another. We see him here, we see him with 5,000 cheering supporters at the Grand Parade, and that's fine, but you've got to remember that he has to get from here to there, and he has put those 18,600 miles beneath him. And it's important to realize that tomorrow and the next day and next week he'll be out there and he'll be on the road, and we saw him wheeling up hills that were very steep into the wind, and literally would come to a standstill and would have to be very quick not to start moving back down the hills. And This is not a manufactured thing. It's not a Hollywood thing. It's real. This man is out there and is doing this. And I found it very inspirational, especially when he stopped to speak to all the children. And these, of course, are very important.
And
to
the
him.
children love him, don't they? They really do, appreciate his efforts.
I think that the efforts of the schools are magnificent. I know my own sons, Jamie and Matthew, were very excited that their dad would go down and get a chance to talk to Rick Hansen.
I'll bet.
Had to get his autograph. They said, no autograph, don't come home. So he has made a big impact with the children.
Certainly has indeed. And many people, as we say, there are many corporate sponsors who have been responsible for helping out with donations, pledges, because it's, I think, a $500 a day expense to keep the Man in Motion tour going. Am I right in saying that, Peter?
That's what we've been told, yeah.
$500 a day. So that's expensive. It's going to be about 2 years in the process before Rick gets back to his home town of, or actually back to his home province of British Columbia, and see the folks in Vancouver to greet him. The whole tour, that is, taking almost 2 years in duration.
We have some people to thank as well, and we thank the folks at Cablevision, and they lent us a body today. Greg Jones, who was down shooting some videotape earlier in Rick's day that we'll be seeing in a few moments. We'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to take part in the Rick Hansen Man in Motion World Tour. It's great when you have the chance to get close and have a look, and it's a very inspirational project. And in Rick's interview, he mentioned the negative publicity when he started in March '85,
Very true.
and I was one of those who thought, boy, oh boy, that's an awfully big project for one person to take.
He proved a lot of people wrong.
He certainly did, and has done a wonderful and inspirational job. 455-5279 is the phone number you can dial today, or indeed drop by any branch of the Royal Bank.
Now we are going to be seeing a videotape of Rick's day in Halifax, and as part of that, some background music. Of course, we'll hear the theme from St. Elmo's Fire, The Man in Motion, actually, by John Parr, but also a local musician, Bruce Rainey, was asked to write a song to dedicate to Rick's Man in Motion tour of Nova Scotia, welcoming him to our province, and it's called A Hero's Song, so we will also hear that behind the video of Rick's day in Halifax.
Have a good day.
Peter Spurway and Elizabeth Logan signing off. Thank you.
The road is dark, his arms grow tired, still 6 more miles tonight. The challenge grows, so on he goes, committed to his fights. His outlooks have never once grown dim when his strength has been unsure. His heart has never once said stop when his mind has said no more. Wheeling away the hurt and pain, and wheeling away the fears, and hoping to find some helping hands to wash away the tears. Wheeling away the hurt and pain, and wheeling away the fears, hoping to find some helping hands to wash away the tears. So much talk of war and death makes it comforting to see a man whose love makes us realize just how thankful we should be. 'Cause he's wheeling away the hurt and pain, and wheeling away the fears, and hoping to find some helping hands to wash away the tears. Wheeling away the hurt and pain, and wheeling away the fears, hoping to find some helping hands to wash away the tears. Proud to be in this great land is the way I feel today. From From Newfoundland to the BC shore, I'll be with him all the way. What makes him see a world so big and want to take it and make it small? Let's make his dream reality, the hero who walks so tall. Let's make his dream reality, the hero who walks so tall. 'Cause he's wheeling away the hurt and pain, and wheeling away the fears, and hoping to find some helping hands to wash away the tears. Just wheeling away